Hello, my name is Jacob Haut, and this is my Silos project on the ice storms in Michigan and how the state of Michigan hasn't received disaster funds yet for the people up north. This is my table of contents. To start off, I've decided, like I said, to address the issue of Michigan seeking federal disaster relief from FEMA, or the Federal Emergency Management Agency, due to the historic ice storms that hit northern Michigan. In this presentation, I will be utilizing silos, which is scan, identify, locate, orient, and strategize, to fully analyze the issue and give meaningful, actionable strategies to help in an attempt to receive the federal relief that they need. First, we're going to scan. First, the primary law that governs FEMA is the Robert T. Stafford Disaster Relief and Emergency Assistance Act that covers disaster declarations, federal assistance, which is what we're looking for, cost sharing, and disaster preparedness. Groups who have interest in in this issue is Northern Michiganders, obviously people that live up there, Northern Michigan small business owners, which there's a lot up there. There's more of small businesses than there is like major corporations like Meyer and Walmart. It's a lot of small business up there. Um, Trucking companies that operate in Northern Michigan because they get product to all these businesses up north, and with the way the roads have been for the past month up there, it's been harder to get product everywhere, which is affecting the economy. And Michigan's governing body, which we know that they're attempting to get this aid, but they're still part of the interest group, and the federal government because they're the ones who direct FEMA, and FEMA's part of the federal government. Continued arguments against giving Michigan the disaster relief is they actually have two aid cases already in place. One from tornadoes from last year that hit Michigan and did a lot of damage, and the flood that happened in Midland in 2020. While the storm from last year isn't the issue that they have, it's that the flood relief for Midland has been active for almost 5 years, and it kind of rubs FEMA the wrong way that they haven't closed the case unless damages are severe enough, which at least from what I've seen, because I live near Midland, it looks like most of the stuff is taken care of there. It might be more of the dam stuff that's on the river where that flooding happened, but due to that, they're a little hesitant in giving out aid. Some other reasons for the delay is the damage assessment has just started. Like they haven't even start. They had just started it, I believe, last week, and so they're waiting for the assessment to be fully complete, which I get, but also there's a lot of people suffering, and there's a lot of problems up north, and they're not getting the funding they need or the help they need because FEMA wants to wait until the assessment's over. Some positive impacts if the relief is granted is road restoration. Like I said, roads have been severely destroyed due to the storms and like trees falling on the roads, causing problems like that. Restoration of infrastructure, that's been a big problem, like power, gas, water have been severely hit in this in northern Michigan. So negatives if this drags on is prolonged restoration. So it's going to take way longer to restore stuff because as more time goes on, it's going to get worse. So it's going to take longer to restore. Negative impacts wouldn't just affect business owners either. It's Northern Michiganders as a whole that are being affected as of right now. Issue 1, the delay on giving Michigan disaster aid due to the damage assessment is that it's still being done. Is that the infrastructure that was once built, which is gas, electric, I didn't mention water, but I'm mentioning it now, is severely crippled, and without aid from the government, it could be several months, and from what I've read, almost it could be a year before the situation stabilized. Issue 2, due to some outstanding aid packages, like I had mentioned, FEMA is hesitant in giving out funding. And 3, the state of the roads in northern Michigan has severely affected transportation of goods, which has a massive impact on Michigan's economy, northern Michigan's economy specifically. Small business owners are the ones that are mainly affected by this. The decision makers in this scenario would be FEMA, as they're the ones determining if disaster is significant enough to receive the funding. One possible solution could be citizen documentation of damage, as in like video recording of the damage and things like that. Not only could this be used for FEMA themselves, but it can be posted online to put pressure on FEMA to speed up their assessment so that they can help. They can help so that help can reach the people of northern Michigan faster. Another solution would be to hold a summit or a town hall type event. You see 'em mostly in political campaigns, but it gives citizens a chance to voice like their needs and frustrations because a lot of people lost their homes due to trees falling down, destroying their houses and such. And it'll also show how bad the situation is, which broadcasting this and getting outreach would be great in getting the whole situation out there so people can see. Um, for the situation, I'm going to choose to do the summit type event as this allows not just small businesses to voice their opinions, their issues, but also citizens. Um, some ways I can influence this is by starting an advertisement and social media campaign to help with outreach. And another way I could influence this is by starting a foundation or set up a charity for families and small businesses to recover from this disaster. Ways to get information to the people would be via a social media campaign, person to person via the summit, and news media as the summit would be broadcasted to local stations across Michigan. And potentially, if the social media campaign blows up enough, you could get it on national news. Um, Finally, to strategize, Northern Michigan has been crippled severely by these ice storms that hit in late March. After looking through the information, I've decided that the ways I can help the citizens of Northern Michigan and make their voices heard is to begin a docu-series. I have a lot of experience in video making and video editing, so making a docu-series that is aimed at giving these people a chance to share their stories and show how bad these storms truly are. And this would be posted to social media to help gain interest in the problem. Another thing you could do, I would do, is start a hashtag. A lot of movements use hashtags now, and it's to help gain traction and potentially get it trending so that people around not just Michigan and not even just the United States, but all over the world have the potential to see it. Um, After that, collaborating with local news stations across Michigan for the summit, I would plan to host so I can reach more viewers and help project our message that Northern Michigan really is in trouble, and without this help, they're not going to be able to potentially survive. The final difference I feel like I can make is starting a charity or nonprofit to help support these victims. Um, Nonprofits and charities are always a great way, and it allows everybody to chip in. It's not just like a local thing. Like I said, if the social media campaign were to blow up, you could see a lot more in the donations section of that charity, and that only benefits the people of Northern Michigan. And that is it. Here are my sources, and thank you for watching.